When life becomes a stage where your sole purpose is to outshine those around you, two things seem to happen at the same time. First, you start gaining a sense of purpose, a sense of motivation. A motivation to not be average, but to be exceptional. Second, you start losing a part of yourself too. A part of you that you perhaps keep wanting to avoid. Part of you that makes who you are. And maybe this is the path our generations are collectively inclined to take. In a world where mediocrity is seen as a sin, a failure. Today, we measure our value through the reflection we see in the world. For a YouTuber, it would be every view count and the number of likes and comments on a recent upload. For others, it would be the numbers, the dollars, the accolades and recognitions of all sorts that define who they are within society. So, a lot of us gamble with our money, buying stocks, trading crypto. We gamble with our persona, advocating radical ideas, because staying true to our ordinary selves is a threat to our very own existence. After all, there's nothing we fear more than being left out, being alone in this universe. And for human beings, being alone is the equivalent of non-existence or death. Cultural conditions might differ, but my personal experiences in both East and Western cultures taught me one thing, that we are a single species, that we pursue the same goal for the same reasons. We live to please an audience because we ourselves are spectators lying in our beds, scrolling endlessly to fill up an insatiable hunger for meaning. But if this act of spectating can truly satiate our soul, why can't we ever stop? So we think perhaps the best form of life is the one without an audience, away from the expectations and performance. But if you think carefully, this too might be a counter-reaction to the world around us. A quiet rebellion to be unimpressive. A one-man revolution to be insignificant out of spite against the world that constantly disappoints us. A hipster mindset that feeds our egos, but at the same time starves us of connection. So, if both seeking and rejecting approval are nothing but pursuits that stem from the same grandiosity, which path do we take? What options do we have? If living for an audience and rejecting the audience are the same actions that only perpetuate the act of feeding your insatiable ego, what choice do we have now? And perhaps the best question is not about what we should do or shouldn't do. Because shoulds and should nots stop to matter when we stop to exist. Shoulds and should nots only put us on the same stage of life where we can either perform or rebel. So it becomes an endless hamster wheel cycle that we cannot get out of. Perhaps the question worth asking is not what I want from the world, but what I want the world to keep after I'm gone. If life comes to an end and I cease to be in this world, what do I want to preserve? And for some, it may be a memory. For some, a legacy. For some, love. For others, maybe something more. Or maybe something less. Here's a quote from Dostoevsky's The Brothers Karamazov. For the mystery of human experience lies not in just staying alive, but in finding something to live for. Without a concrete idea of what he is living for, man would refuse to live, would rather exterminate himself than remain on this earth, even if bread were scattered all around him. So I'll see you guys next time.